Chapter 1. The year Ava Scott and Liam Henderson got engaged was the same year her father brought Khloe, the daughter of his late brother-in-arms, to live with them in their Chicago home. In just a few short months, both her brother and her fiancé had fallen for this girl who was a sister to them in name only. Her childhood sweetheart, Liam, fought with his family, demanding to call off their engagement. "I told you, I've never loved Ava. She's spoiled and demanding, not half the woman Khloe is." Her brother Ethan snatched their mother's last gift to her and gave it to Khloe. "Ava, when will you learn to be more generous? Khloe's an orphan. Do you really have to fight her for everything?" Even her father, on her own birthday, took Khloe to the Six Flags amusement park she'd always dreamed of visiting with him. He'd said, "Ava, you've had everything. Khloe grew up in a small town with nothing. I'll celebrate with you next year." Watching Khloe, showered with the affection of her family, Ava clutched the doctor's report in her hand and booked a one-way ticket out of the country. The day Liam finally agreed to set a wedding date with Ava, she called in to a popular late-night relationship podcast. "Hi," she said to the host. "I need you to make a call for me, to a Mr. Henderson. Tell him a Miss C called, that I heard he's getting married and I'm heartbroken. Say I can't forget him, and ask him if he still loves me." The moment the host dialed, Liam's impatient voice came through the line. "Hello? Hi, Mr. Henderson. I host the Late Night Love podcast. A Miss C just called in. She said she can't forget you and she wants to know if you still love her." Silence on the other end. The host prompted him, "Mr. Henderson?" "I do." Liam's voice was low but firm. "I love her." The line went dead. The host, ecstatic, said, "Miss C, he loves you. Congratulations. I hope you two find your happy ending." Ava just smiled. "Thank you, but my name isn't Khloe. I'm the woman he's supposed to marry. And now I won't be." The host was stunned into silence, his jaw agape. The live stream chat flew by, but Ava simply turned off her phone. Seconds later, Liam's call came through. "Ava, I'm calling off the engagement. The person I love isn't you." Ava didn't say a word. She just hung up. Liam was clearly desperate, rushing to break things off the moment he thought Khloe's feelings were confirmed. She turned and looked out the window. The snow was coming down hard, and the air was frigid, but it was nothing compared to the ice in her heart. She decided to go out, driving her car alone to the Hendersons' estate. When she arrived, Liam was already kneeling in the snow-covered driveway, begging his parents to cancel the wedding. His back was ramrod straight, his expression one of grim determination. It was as if he would kneel there forever if they didn't agree. "Ava, you're here. It's freezing out. Come inside." Liam's mother saw her and ushered her in, her face etched with difficulty. Ava sat on the sofa, glancing at Liam kneeling outside. His face was pale, his body trembling slightly. He must have been out there for a long time. "Don't mind that little brat," Mrs. Henderson said. "He never had a problem with this marriage before. I don't know what's gotten into him, suddenly insisting on calling it off." "Don't you worry, Ava. Your mother's dying wish was for you to marry Liam. I won't let her down." Before Ava could respond, Liam burst into the room. "Ava, stop clinging to me. I, Liam Henderson, mean what I say. I don't love you and I won't marry you." "You brat, shut your mouth." Seeing this, Liam's father lunged forward and slapped him hard across the face. "Mrs. Henderson rushed to pull her husband back. "Don't do this. We can talk to him." "Talk about what? He's completely lost his mind. There's nothing to say. Back in high school, he was the one who was dying to marry Ava, begging us to approach the Scotts. It's only been a few years now. He wants to call it off. Is marriage a joke to him? Something you can just cancel on a whim?" Ava remembered years ago how Liam had treated her like a princess, cradling her in the palm of his hand. He had sworn to her then that he would marry her one day. Chapter 2. Ava remembered another day when the snow had fallen just as heavily. She had stood under a streetlight and asked him, "I'm spoiled, I'm difficult, and I throw tantrums. Will you still love me even then?" He had looked at her with such depth in his eyes. "No, Ava, that's not the real you. It's just a wall you put up because you're starved for love." But now, his words meant nothing. The scene descended into chaos, the shouting giving her a headache. Before Ava could speak, two figures appeared at the door. It was her brother, Ethan, and Khloe. Khloe was covered in snowflakes, her thin coat doing little to protect her slender, frail frame. She leaned on Ethan for support as she walked toward them. Seeing the red handprint on Liam's face, her eyes instantly welled with tears. "I'm so sorry, Miss Scott. If you have to blame someone, blame me. Don't be angry with Liam. He was just taking pity on me." Seeing how little she was wearing, Liam immediately took off his own jacket and draped it over her shoulders, his tone softening. "I told you, you're not well. You can't get chilled. Why did you come all the way out here in the snow to find me?" "She heard you were fighting with your parents and insisted on coming," Ethan said, his voice laced with concern. "She's still running a fever." Liam's heart ached as he pulled her into an embrace. "Khloe, why are you so foolish? Miss Scott, I know I've wronged you, but I'm begging you, please, let me and Liam be together." She sank to her knees before Ava. Liam moved to help her up, but she shook her head, tears falling like broken pearls. "I know you blame me for stealing Ethan's and Liam's affection, but I swear I never meant for any of this to happen." Ignoring her masterful performance, Ava's eyes locked onto the sapphire pendant around her neck. She shot up and lunged forward. "What is that around your neck?" Liam quickly shielded Khloe behind him. "Ava, what are you doing? You will not hurt her." Khloe trembled, whispering, "I just thought the pendant was beautiful and Ethan said I could have it." "Ethan?" Ava looked at her brother in disbelief. "That was Mom's. She left it for me before she died. How could you secretly give it to Khloe?" Ethan scoffed. "What's the big deal? Ava, don't forget what Dad said. Anything in this house is Khloe's for the asking." His words were a blade plunging deep into Ava's heart. He was right. From the day Khloe had set foot in their house, her childhood sweetheart, her brother, and even her father had become Khloe's. But her mother's things, they were supposed to be hers. Give it back. Ava's eyes turned to ice. Khloe quickly unclasped the pendant. "I'm so sorry, Miss Scott. I didn't know it was your mother's. I just liked it, and Ethan gave it to me. I'll give it back right now." But before the pendant reached Ava's hand, it slipped and fell to the floor. With a sharp crack, it shattered into pieces. Ava froze. The fury she had been suppressing finally erupted. "Khloe, you did that on purpose." She couldn't hold back. She slapped Khloe across the face. "Ava, are you insane?" Khloe stumbled, falling into Liam's arms. Ethan rushed forward and shoved Ava hard. "It was an accident. Khloe didn't mean it. It's just a stupid pendant. Do you have to be so dramatic? Besides, you're the one who couldn't hold on to it. You deserved it." Chapter 3. The force of Ethan's push sent Ava sprawling to the floor. A sharp piece of the shattered pendant pierced her palm, a searing pain shooting up her arm. She looked at the brother who had once adored her, who now resorted to violence against her again and again. Ava bit her lip, her eyes turning red. "Ava, Mrs. Henderson came to help her, but she didn't move. She just picked up the broken pieces of the pendant from the floor." "I'm sorry, Mom. I couldn't even protect the last thing you left for me. It's my fault. Don't blame Miss Scott. She was right to hit me." Before Khloe could finish, she fainted. Liam and Ethan panicked, rushing to her side. Ethan's face drained of color. "She's still burning up, Liam. Call a doctor now. Khloe, are you okay?" Liam swept Khloe into his arms and shot Ava a venomous glare. "Ava, if anything happens to Khloe, I'll make you pay." With that threat hanging in the air, he ignored the furious faces of his parents and carried Khloe upstairs. The Hendersons all turned to look at Ava. Ethan's voice was filled with anger. "Ava, just stop it. Liam doesn't love you. You're spoiled and difficult. Khloe is kind and gentle. She's suffered enough in her life. Can't you just give her a break for once?" She clutched the broken pendant tightly in her hand, the shards digging deeper into her palm. Blood dripped from her hand, drop by startling drop. Yet she seemed to feel no pain. She simply nodded. "Fine." Ethan thought he had misheard. "What did you say?" "I said fine," Ava repeated, her voice calm. "I agree to call off the engagement." Ethan let out a breath of relief. "Ava, you're finally growing up, finally being sensible. Don't worry, Dad and I will find a much better match for you." "A better match?" Ava smiled faintly. "No, thank you. I'm dying. I don't have much time left." Just a few days after her father had brought Khloe home, her own test results had come back. The report stated she had inherited her mother's nasopharyngeal carcinoma. She wouldn't live much longer. She hadn't had the chance to tell them before she overheard Liam confessing to Khloe, telling her he loved her, that he would break off his engagement with Ava. Seeing Ava's silence, Ethan finally noticed her hand. "Ava, your hand is bleeding. I'll take you to the hospital." He tried to approach, but Ava took a subtle step back, putting distance between them. Her instinctive movement made Ethan's face harden. You know what, Ava? You deserve it. The pendant is broken, so what? Why are you picking up the pieces and torturing yourself? Who are you trying to make feel guilty? Why can't you just be more like Khloe? Ava ignored him. She said her goodbyes to Liam's parents and returned to the Scott residence. When she got home, her father was sitting on the sofa, organizing a pile of documents. He smiled when he saw her. Ava, come, sit down. Ava's hand was bandaged, but her father didn't seem to notice. He was calculating the family's assets, making a list of things to buy. Dad, what are you doing? Oh, Khloe's getting married, isn't she? I'm figuring out her wedding trust. I've calculated it out. We need to buy her a house, a car. Even if I give her everything I set aside for you, it won't be enough. And there are so many smaller things, I need to write it all down. Seeing her father's earnest expression, a sharp pain lanced through Ava's heart. Dad, how did you know Khloe was getting married? Well, his expression shifted, fumbling for an explanation. But Ava understood everything. Her father had known all along that Liam was in love with Khloe. He had already been planning to marry Khloe off to Liam. He was even going to give Khloe the wedding gifts that were meant for her. Chapter 4. Dad, I'm your daughter, aren't I? Why does everyone dote on Khloe so much? Why does everyone love her? Why are you doing this to me? The dam of her grievances finally broke, and Ava burst into tears. Ava, Khloe has had a hard life. Her father was my brother in arms. Now that he's gone, I have to treat her like my own daughter. Her hard life has nothing to do with me. I didn't cause it. Why should I have to give up everything for her? Ava was sobbing uncontrollably when her eyes caught sight of a wooden box on the table. Her heart tightened. What's that? Ava, you're tired. Go upstairs and rest. Her father tried to stop her, but he was too slow. Ava snatched the box and opened it. Inside was the jewelry her own mother had left for her. Pieces her grandmother had given her mother for her wedding day. Her mother had told her they were all for Ava, for when she got married. Her hands trembled. You were going to give these to Khloe too? Khloe never had a mother she liked, so because she likes it, I have to give it to her. She liked my dad, I gave him to her. She liked my brother, I gave him to her. She even wanted my fiancé, and I'm giving him to her, too, but the things my mother left for me. I will never, ever give them to her. The rage was too much. Suddenly, blood gushed from her nose. The metallic smell exploded in her senses. Panicked, she grabbed tissues to wipe it away. Her father was startled. Ava, what's wrong? Ava, what kind of stunt are you pulling now? At that moment, Ethan walked in. Seeing Ava playing the victim again, he erupted in a furious tirade. Don't think you can play pitiful and win our sympathy. I am so sick of you. Ava kept wiping, stuffing one blood-soaked tissue after another into the trash can until the bleeding finally slowed. She didn't expect Ethan's pity or her father's concern. All she wanted now was to protect her mother's legacy. As she turned to go upstairs, her father stopped her. Ava, tomorrow is your birthday. How about I take you to that amusement park you've always wanted to go to? Ava froze. She had asked so many times for him to take her. She wasn't a child anymore, but her father had been in the army and was rarely home when she was little. They had never gone to an amusement park together. Now, she wanted to. Okay, she nodded, clutching her mother's things as she went upstairs. After she left, she could hear Ethan complaining to their father. Dad, Ava is getting more and more out of control. She slapped Khloe at the Hendersons. Khloe fainted and is still over there. What? How could Ava become like this? Come on, I'm going to bring Khloe home myself. Watching the two of them hurry out the door, the light in Ava's eyes slowly faded. Mom, she whispered to the empty room, Dad and Ethan don't love me anymore. But you'll always love me, right? I'll be with you soon. Determined not to miss her day with her father, Ava set multiple alarms. She wanted to wake up early to get to the amusement park with him as soon as possible. Khloe was brought home that night. When she heard that the next day was Ava's birthday and that their father was taking her to the park, she was consumed with jealousy. To make sure Ava couldn't go, she snuck into Ava's room. She silently turned off all her alarms and locked the door from the outside. Early the next morning, Mr. Scott and Ethan were waiting downstairs. Ava never came down. Ethan grew impatient. What is she trying to pull? Does she think she can do whatever she wants just because it's her birthday? She's a grown woman, she has no sense of time. Just as he was about to go up and get her, Khloe ran down the stairs. Ethan, Dad, Ava said she doesn't want to go to the park anymore. She wants to sleep in. You've got to be kidding me, what now? Is she throwing another one of her princess fits? Mr. Scott sighed. If she doesn't want to go, then let's just forget it. Ethan, Dad. I've never been to an amusement park before. Khloe's eyes reddened, a picture of pitiable longing. Seeing her, both men smiled. Well then, how about we take you today? Khloe nearly jumped for joy. Really? Yes, Chapter 5. When Ava woke up, it was already 9 in the morning. The sun was bright outside, and a terrible premonition washed over her. She looked at her clock and saw the time. None of her alarms had gone off, and her phone was missing. She scrambled out of bed and tried the door, only to find it locked from the outside. It wouldn't budge. Dad Ethan, no matter how loudly she yelled, there was no answer. Even the household staff didn't hear her. Then she remembered. It was Sunday. All the staff had the day off. What do I do? Ava panicked. Her dad had promised to take her to the park. Left with no other choice, she tied all her bedsheets together, secured them to the window frame, and began to climb down from the second floor. Halfway down, the knot loosened, and she fell hard onto the ground below. The pain was sharp, but she ignored it. The house was empty. Ethan and her father were gone. She quickly changed her clothes and rushed to the amusement park, only to be met with a devastating sight. Khloe, surrounded by her family. And Liam. The 3 men were clustered around Khloe, attending to her every need. Khloe wanted to ride the carousel, so all 3 of them rode with her. Khloe wanted cotton candy, and each of them held one for her. Khloe wanted to ride the roller coaster, and even though Liam and Ethan were afraid of heights, and even though her father was getting older, they all got on the ride with her. This was everything Ava had ever wanted. She stood alone, watching as the life that was supposed to be hers was stolen by Khloe, her vision blurring with tears. After the roller coaster, Khloe decided she wanted to win a stuffed animal. Liam and Ethan started a competition to see who could win more for her. They won a mountain of them, each man carrying a huge bag overflowing with prizes. Ava just stood nearby, watching numbly, feeling like a thief spying on someone else's happiness. She remembered before Khloe came. Her birthdays had always been a huge celebration. Her father would throw a lavish party. Ethan knew she loved fireworks and would set them off in the yard for hours. Liam would show up first thing in the morning, surprising her with countless thoughtful little gifts. But this year, they had forgotten her. In their hearts, there was only Khloe. This is so much fun. I wish today was my birthday. I've never really had a birthday party in my whole life, Khloe said, looking down with a sad expression. Liam gently stroked her hair. Then let's make today your birthday, okay? We'll celebrate for you to celebrate. They took Khloe to a high-end jewelry store. Happy birthday, Khloe. Pick whatever you want, Dad will buy it for you. That's right, Khloe. Whatever you like, your brother will get it for you. I'll get you something too. Pick anything. It's on me. Khloe obediently picked out a few of the least expensive items. Liam scoffed at her choices, insisting on buying her the most brilliant, eye-catching diamond necklace in the store. Ava took your pendant, so I'm giving you this necklace. Now your neck won't be bare. Thank you, Liam. Khloe shyly stood on her tiptoes and planted a kiss on Liam's cheek. Seeing the smile on Liam's face and the indulgent looks from her father and Ethan, a sharp pain twisted in Ava's heart. She turned away, a wave of dizziness washing over her, and collapsed to the ground. As she fainted, the 3 men she loved most in the world were still fawning over Khloe, completely oblivious to her. A crowd of strangers gathered around, looking at her with concern. Miss, are you okay? What's wrong? Staring at the unfamiliar faces, Ava's consciousness faded, and then there was only darkness. Chapter 6. When she woke up again, she was in a hospital. Miss Scott, your condition is worsening. I strongly advise you to begin treatment immediately. Night had fallen. She struggled to get out of the hospital bed, wanting to go home. No, doctor, I have to go home. Then I'll call your family to come and get you. Ava felt weak all over and gave him Ethan's number. When the call connected, it was Khloe's voice on the other end. Hello, Ava. Khloe, where's my brother? He's busy. What is it? You can tell me. Put him on the phone. Ava's tone was firm. Khloe deliberately raised her voice. Ethan, it's for you. I think it's Ava. Ignore it. Come on, the barbecue is ready. The line was disconnected. Ava blinked, her heart sinking bit by bit. The doctor tried calling her father, then Liam. No one answered. She had to take a taxi home herself. When she arrived, the backyard was filled with laughter and celebration. They were sitting around a bonfire, singing "Happy Birthday" to Khloe. Khloe, wearing a tiara and a princess dress, closed her eyes to make a wish. "I wish I can be this happy forever." Liam smiled at her, his eyes full of adoration. "You will be, silly girl." Ava lowered her head, turned, and went upstairs. Back in her room, she pulled out a photo album. It was filled with pictures of her mother, her father, and so many of Ethan and Liam. The three of them had grown up together, taking countless photos. The gifts they'd given her filled more than just the shelves. An entire room was dedicated to them. Ava walked into that room and saw a snow globe. Liam had given it to her for her 10th birthday. Inside, a prince and princess danced in a snowy landscape. When the music played, the figures would waltz and snow would fall inside the globe. She flicked the switch. It was broken. Just like her love for him, it was gone. Taking out a large trash bag, she began to throw their gifts away, one by one. As she came downstairs, carrying the heavy bag, she saw Liam. "Ava, you finally decided to get up." His words were so absurd, she almost laughed. Did he really think she had been sleeping in her room all this time? She glanced at him, then looked away, her expression cold as she dragged the bag to the housekeeper. "Maria, throw this stuff out." "Miss, but aren't these all your favorite things?" Maria peered into the bag, her eyes wide with shock. These were Ava's most treasured possessions. "Just throw them out. I don't want them anymore." She turned to go back upstairs. Liam watched her retreating back, a deep frown on his face. He didn't know why, but he felt that Ava had changed a lot these past few days. Before, if she saw him at her house, she would have jumped for joy. Now, she wouldn't even spare him a second glance. And she seemed thinner. The oversized dress she wore hung loosely on her frame, looking far too big. "Ava, it's your birthday too. We're cutting cake and have a bonfire in the yard. Are you coming?" Liam called out to her. Ava paused and nodded. "Okay, I'll grab something and be right down." She went upstairs and took out the photo album. She removed all the pictures except for those of her mother and herself and brought the rest downstairs. When she appeared, Khloe walked over with a slice of cake. "Ava, you're here, come have some cake. Dad bought it for me, for us." Ava glanced at the cake but didn't take it. "I'm not eating it." Seeing this, Ethan immediately became annoyed. "Ava, have you not had enough? Khloe is offering you cake, and you can't even be polite? Have Dad and I spoiled you so much that you've forgotten all your manners?" Her father chimed in with disappointment. "Ava, you really need to work on that attitude. Khloe was just being kind." "Brother, Dad," Ava lifted her gaze, her voice weary. "I'm allergic to mangoes. Have you forgotten?" Chapter 7, The Men in the Yard froze. Ethan and Mr. Scott exchanged a look, a flash of guilt in their eyes. It was true. Ava had been allergic to mangoes since she was a child. Eating them would cause her to break out in hives, and a severe reaction could trigger an asthma attack. When they bought the cake, they had only thought about Khloe's love for mangoes, completely forgetting about Ava's allergy. Looking at their expressions, Ava felt a pain like 1,000 needles pricking her heart. She glanced at the nearby bonfire, took the photos in her hand, and tossed them into the flames. Liam walked over, curious. "What are you burning?" "Nothing, just some trash." The fire instantly consumed the pictures. The warm light flickered across her face, but Ava felt no warmth at all. She turned to leave, but Khloe grabbed her arm. In a voice loud enough for everyone to hear, she said, "Ava, please stay and celebrate with us, okay?" Then she leaned in and whispered in her ear, "See, Ava. Your father, your brother, and your fiancé, they're all mine now. One day, everything in this house will be mine, including the jewelry your mother left you. And by the way, you want to know why your alarms didn't go off this morning. I went into your room last night and turned them off. And I was the one who locked your door. Khloe, you venomous snake, you will not touch my mother's things." Her words finally broke Ava. She shoved Khloe, who used the momentum to throw herself backward, crashing into the wisteria arbor in the yard. With a loud crack, the old, rickety structure collapsed. Ava watched in horror as the frame came crashing down, too stunned to move. Across from her, Khloe had already been pulled to safety by the three men who shielded her with their bodies. Ava couldn't get out of the way in time. A heavy wooden beam slammed into her back. An agonizing pain shot through her, and she cried out, "Brother, Dad," but they didn't seem to hear. They were huddled around Khloe, anxiously asking, "Khloe, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Liam's face was white with fear as he cradled her. "Yeah, Khloe, did it hit you?" "I'm fine. But my ankle, I think I twisted it." Khloe burst into tears. The three men panicked, getting ready to rush her to the hospital. Seeing them about to leave, Ava managed to call out, "Dad?" Her voice was too weak. They didn't hear her. As Liam left, he had a nagging feeling he was forgetting something, but he didn't look back. He just sped away. The yard fell silent, the only sound the crackle and pop of the bonfire, a sound that amplified in the quiet, filling Ava with despair. The impact had made her nose bleed again, and the blood quickly soaked the front of her shirt. She lay on the ground, unable to move. It wasn't until the housekeeper, Maria, found her. "Miss, oh my God, are you all right?" "I'll get you out." With great effort, Maria managed to free her and get her to the hospital. The doctor examined her. Her back was bruised and injured, not critical, but it needed care. Compared to that, the cancer was the far more serious issue. "Miss Scott, are you still not going to tell your family?" Ava blinked. She was at her breaking point. The neglect from her father and brother was a constant, throbbing ache in her heart. If they knew she was sick, that she was dying, would they start to love her again? Finally, she nodded. "They're at this hospital now. I'll go tell them." She asked for Khloe's room number. Standing at the door, she could see the three men bustling around inside. Ethan was peeling an apple for Khloe, her father was pouring her water, and Liam was telling jokes to make her laugh. In reality, nothing was seriously wrong with Khloe, just a sprained ankle, but they cared so much. And her. She was the one who had been crushed, and they hadn't given her a second thought, not even a single glance. A chill spread from the depths of her heart to every corner of her body. Ava sniffled and walked into the room. Liam saw her and his face hardened. "Ava, what are you doing here? Are you trying to hurt Khloe again? If it weren't for you, she wouldn't be in the hospital." Ava didn't look at him. She stood her ground and softly called out to Ethan and her father. "Brother, Dad, can you come here for a second? I have something to tell you." Ethan's face was cold. "Whatever you have to say it here. We need to take care of Khloe." Ava licked her dry lips and said quietly, "I'm sick. I have cancer." Chapter 8. Ha 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 ha, as if he'd heard the funniest joke in the world, Ethan burst out laughing. "Ava, you'll really say anything to get our attention, won't you? You have cancer. Why not just say you're dying?" Their father looked worried. "Ava, this isn't something to joke about." Liam's expression changed. "Ava, you'd better not be lying." Hearing this, Khloe scrambled to get out of bed. "I'm so sorry, Ava. I know you're angry with me. I know I shouldn't have stolen your father and brother on your birthday. I've never had a birthday party before, but telling a lie like this, cursing yourself, it only makes us worry and feel sad." "Exactly," Ethan said. "Dad, don't believe her. We've spoiled her rot. Now she's just a compulsive liar. You can't believe a word she says." Ava stared in disbelief at the people in front of her. They had once been the ones who loved her most. What had happened to them? "If you don't believe me, you can ask the doctor." "And how do we know you didn't bribe the doctor to lie for you?" "Ava, I don't want to see you right now. Get out of my sight. If you pull a stunt like this again, I swear, even if you really did die, I wouldn't shed a single tear for you." Ethan's harsh words were the final blow. Ava had lost all hope in him. She let out a bitter laugh and nodded. "Fine. I'll go." "Ethan, oh Ethan, I hope you don't regret this one day." She slowly turned and walked away. Watching her thin figure retreat, Liam felt a pang of unease. He was about to follow her when Khloe cried out, "My ankle hurts so much." Liam's attention snapped back to her, and he helped her back onto the bed. "If your leg hurts, don't move around. We'll be heading home soon." After returning home, Ava went out to the backyard. The wisteria arbor was a collapsed mess, the yard in shambles. Her father and mother had built that arbor together the year they moved into the house. Because Ava loved wisteria, her mother had decided to build one just for her. Ava and Ethan had planted the wisteria vine themselves. "Maria, please call someone tomorrow to fix this arbor." This was another thing her mother had left behind. She didn't want it to be gone forever, but she knew she probably wouldn't be around to see the wisteria bloom next summer. "Of course, miss, you should go upstairs and rest. I'll call someone first thing in the morning." Ava went back to her room and packed her things. She glanced at the plane ticket in her hand. The flight was for the next evening. She was leaving. She was leaving this house, going somewhere no one knew her, to quietly disappear. Tucking the ticket away, Ava looked around the room. Her father and mother had decorated it for her. She remembered the day they finished. Her father had opened the door, swept her into his arms, and said lovingly, "This is our little princess's room. Daddy will make sure you're the happiest girl in the world." Her brother had also said, "Ava will always be my favorite sister, my favorite little princess." In just a few short years, everything had changed. She pulled her gaze away and placed her medical records and diagnosis into a small box. She planned to leave it for Maria to give to Ethan and her father. Whether they believed it or not, they wouldn't be able to find her anymore. That night, Ava couldn't sleep. She made a wish upon a star, hoping that when she died, her mother would come to get her so she wouldn't be afraid. Chapter 9. She finally fell asleep in the early hours of the morning, only to be woken by the screech of a chainsaw. A cacophony of noise was coming from the yard. She rushed downstairs to see a group of workers hauling away the collapsed wooden arbor. Another worker was holding a chainsaw, cutting down the wisteria tree her mother had planted. As she watched the tree her mother had planted for her fall to the ground, Ava's body trembled and tears streamed down her face. "What are you doing?" Her voice shook, her hands clenched into fists at her sides. Khloe saw her and strutted over, her chin held high. "Can't you see? That arbor hurt me last night. Dad and Ethan said it had to be removed. And since I don't like wisteria, there's no reason for the tree to be here either. My mother planted that tree for me. What gives you the right to destroy it? What gives you the right?" The fragile peace in her heart shattered, churning into a storm of fury at Khloe's smug face. Khloe was taken aback by the look in her eyes, but before she could react, Ava's hands were around her throat. "Khloe, you've taken everything from me and it's still not enough. You want to take what my mother left me too. Do you believe I'll kill you right here, right now?" Her throat constricted, Khloe struggled for air, gasping, "Ava, you're insane, let go of me, Dad." Ethan helped hearing the commotion. Mr. Scott was the first to run outside. Seeing Ava choking Khloe like a madwoman, he rushed forward and tore Ava away. Before Ava could even regain her balance, he raised his hand and slapped her hard across the face. He put all his strength into it. The blow made Ava's ears ring, and blood trickled from the corner of her mouth. Her right cheek went numb beyond pain. She stood there, head turned to the side, motionless. "Dad, don't blame her, she didn't mean it." Khloe was sobbing hysterically. Mr. Scott patiently comforted her. "It's okay, Khloe, don't be scared. She's just been spoiled rotten, that's why she dares to bully you." He then turned back to Ava, his voice a furious roar. "Ava, how could I have a daughter like you? You were always spoiled. But you were never this cruel, you disappoint me so much you're not even half the person Khloe is." His words echoed around her, but Ava couldn't hear them clearly through the ringing in her ears. She couldn't make out what he was saying anymore, but from the look on his face, she knew he was cursing her. She blinked, and a tear slid down her cheek. Her father had never so much as raised his voice at her, let alone hit her. And now, for Khloe, he had struck her. An endless bitterness consumed her. She said nothing. She just looked at the man before her, her eyes filled with a profound sadness. Seeing her expression, Mr. Scott seemed to want to say something. "Ava," but Ava didn't give him the chance. She turned and went back to her room. When she came down with her suitcase, the house was empty. Maria told her that her father and brother had taken Khloe out for a fancy meal to comfort her. She nodded and handed the housekeeper a small metal box. "Maria, please give this to my father and brother." "Miss, why don't you give it to them yourself? Where are you going?" Maria looked at her with concern, her heart aching at the sight of the red handprint on her face. Before Khloe came, Ava was the princess of the house, held in the palm of everyone's hand. The master and young master wouldn't have dreamed of even scolding her, but now they were hitting her. "I'm just going away for a few days." Ava dragged her suitcase to the airport. As the plane took off, she closed her eyes, exhausted. "Ethan, Dad, Liam, as you wished, I'm gone. Goodbye forever." Chapter 10. In an elegant steakhouse, Ethan was cutting a filet mignon for Khloe. Khloe, unfamiliar with Western dining, fumbled awkwardly with her knife and fork. Ethan patiently cut the meat into bite-sized pieces and passed the plate to her. "Here you go." "Thank you, brother." That word, brother, gave Ethan a jolt. Ava used to call him that, in that same sweet, wheedling tone. He realized he hadn't heard her call him that in a long time. Mr. Scott had no appetite either. His mind was replaying the moment he had slapped Ava that morning, the look in her eyes. It was cold, filled with an emotion he couldn't name. Thinking back, Ava had suffered a lot of injustices recently. The wisteria arbor, built by her late mother's own hands, was gone. The tree was destroyed. She must have been heartbroken. Noticing his father's distraction, Ethan asked, "Dad, what's wrong?" "This morning, I hit Ava." Ethan froze, staring at him in disbelief. "You hit Ava? You've never laid a hand on her in her entire life." "I know." "She must be devastated, Mr." Scott was filled with regret and couldn't eat another bite. "I have to go home and see her." "But I'm not finished eating yet." Khloe pouted, her eyes instantly welling up. "You promised to have steak with me." "I've barely had a few bites." "Ethan, you stay with Khloe, I'm going home." As Mr. Scott got up to leave, Ethan stood up too. He had been awful to Ava lately, and guilt was eating at him. "Dad, I'll go back with you." "What about me?" Khloe cried. "You can eat by yourself." Khloe's face fell, her expression turning ugly. They were abandoning her for Ava. "Then I'm coming back with you too." When they rushed home, the large mansion was eerily empty. There was no sign of Ava. Assuming she was in her room, Mr. Scott and Ethan went upstairs and knocked. "Ava, are you in there?" Silence. "Ava, Dad was wrong. I shouldn't have hit you yesterday. What do you want to eat?" "Tell me and I'll make your favorite sweet and sour ribs, okay?" Still no answer. Ethan couldn't help but speak up. "Sis, I know I've been a jerk these past few days. I'm sorry. Let's just talk this out face to face." Ethan knocked again. "Ava, please don't be mad," Khloe added, pouring fuel on the fire. Dad and Ethan didn't mean it. "If you have to blame someone, blame me, okay?" Her words had the intended effect. Ethan's patience snapped. "Ava, have you had enough of this? Dad and I have both personally apologized to you. What more do you want?" After a few more unanswered shouts, he lost his temper completely. He twisted the knob and pushed the door open. The room was empty. The window was open and the bed was neatly made, but the desk was bare. The family photo Ava always kept there was gone. A strange panic seized Ethan's heart. Something was wrong. "Dad, where's Ava? She's not here." "I don't know." Mr. Scott noticed the closet door was ajar. He walked over and looked inside. All of Ava's belongings were gone. Her clothes, her shoes, her jewelry, all of it had vanished. "Where are Ava's clothes?" Mr. Scott staggered back, a terrible sense of dread washing over him. "How can this be? Where are all her things?" Ethan ran over, and his face turned pale when he saw the empty closet. "Do you think she ran away from home because she was angry?" Khloe suggested, a hint of a smile she quickly concealed. Finally, she had driven Ava out of this house. "That girl, she's just too much, Mr." Scott sighed, relieved. Ethan snorted. "This time, nobody goes looking for her. Let's see how long she can last on her own." "Master, young master, you're back." Maria, the housekeeper, walked over and handed them the small metal box Ava had left. "Miss Scott left. Before she went, she told me to give this box to you personally." "What is it?" Ethan took it nonchalantly and opened the box. When he saw the medical report inside, his face went deathly white. His hands began to tremble uncontrollably. Of all the text, he only saw one sentence. "Based on the pathological examination, the patient is diagnosed with nasopharyngeal carcinoma with lymph node metastasis." No, it can't be. In that moment, he knew everything Ava had said was true. She really had cancer. Chapter 11. "What is it? Ethan, what did you see?" Mr. Scott went over and saw the diagnosis. His mind went blank, a loud buzzing filling his ears. "Ava, she." He shook his head, refusing to believe it. "This has to be fake. It's not real." Khloe raised an eyebrow. She truly hoped Ava did have cancer. Only if Ava died could she become the true lady of the Scott family, rising from her humble past. She never wanted to go back to the poverty of her childhood. "Dad, Ethan, don't panic. Maybe she just got someone to forge this report to get your attention. Ava looks so healthy, she doesn't seem like she has cancer at all, really." Ethan blinked, his mind unable to process anything. He didn't know if Khloe was telling the truth. "But Mom died of nasopharyngeal carcinoma. It's hereditary." Mr. Scott's expression grew dazed. "That's right, Julia died of it. Even if Ava wanted to trick us, she wouldn't use a lie like that. No, I have to call her doctor." Ethan no longer trusted Khloe. He dialed the number on the report. "Dr. Evans, this is Ethan Scott, Ava Scott's brother. I need to confirm something with you." "Mr. Scott, yes." Before Ethan could even ask, the doctor's urgent voice came through. "You finally called. Miss Scott has late-stage nasopharyngeal carcinoma. If she doesn't start treatment soon, she could die at any time. I think it would be best for you to bring her to the hospital immediately." Ethan's eyes widened, and the phone slipped from his hand, clattering to the floor. "Impossible, impossible. Ava is so healthy, so full of life. How could she have cancer?" He collapsed onto the floor, stunned into silence. Mr. Scott quickly picked up the phone. The doctor continued, "Miss Scott didn't want to worry you, but she decided to tell you last time she was here. I saw you all at the hospital that day and assumed you were bringing her in for treatment. Why hasn't she come back yet?" The two men looked at each other, their faces masks of regret. That day at the hospital, Ava had told them herself. She was sick, she had cancer, and Ethan had laughed. He had mocked her, called her a liar. He had told her to die, that he wouldn't shed a tear. Ava, as if struck by a sudden thought, he bolted up the stairs to the room where Ava kept her gifts. He threw the door open and saw rows of empty shelves. The room that had once been overflowing with treasures was now bare. "Maria, where are her things? Where did all of Miss Scott's things go?" The housekeeper hurried over. "On her birthday, after she came back, she told us to throw them all away." "Throw them away?" Ethan didn't believe it. "Those were her most cherished possessions. Why would she throw them away?" "It's true, sir. She also burned all the photos of you, the master, and Mr. Henderson." At these words, the last remnants of Ethan's composure shattered. "Ava," he roared, slamming his fist into the wall. Seeing this, Khloe ran over, taking his hand with feigned concern. "Ethan, are you okay? Your hand is bleeding. Don't touch me." Ethan shoved her away and stumbled back downstairs. "Ava," seeing the empty gift room, Mr. Scott's world went dark and he collapsed. "Master, Dad," Khloe and Maria rushed to his side. Chapter 12. Ethan didn't know how he made it down the stairs. It was only a few steps, but each one felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. "Young master, Mr. Henderson is here to formally propose." The door opened, and Liam Henderson strode in, his face beaming. His parents had finally given in, agreeing to let him marry Khloe. As he left, his mother had said coldly, "Just don't come crying to me when you regret it." He wouldn't regret it. Khloe was 1,000 times better than Ava. "Ethan, where's Khloe?" He saw Liam walk in with a mountain of engagement gifts and his face turned to ice. "What's wrong? You look terrible." Liam was grinning, his handsome face full of joy. "Where's Mr. Scott? Call him down." "I'm here to get engaged to his daughter. Khloe, I've brought all the gifts." "My father has only one daughter, and her name is Ava, and I only have one sister." Ethan was like a different person. Liam frowned. "What's gotten into you?" For weeks, Ethan had doted on Khloe more than Ava. After Khloe arrived, hadn't they all grown to despise Ava? How could a spoiled heiress compare to the gentle, understanding Khloe who needed their protection? "Liam, Ava is dying, did you know that?" "Ha. You actually believe that nonsense. Since Khloe came, how many lies has she told to get our attention? You still fall for it." Seeing his disbelief, Ethan threw the diagnosis report at his face. "See for yourself." Liam's face turned ashen as he read the report. A violent tremor ran through him, but he still tried to deny it. "Impossible. How could she have the same disease as her mother?" Liam's mind flashed back to how Ava had looked the past few days. Her pale face, her thin frame. He didn't know when it started, but she had lost so much weight. He didn't know when it started, but Ava had changed. On her birthday, they had all ignored her, spent the entire day with Khloe, and she hadn't thrown a tantrum. In the past, if they had forgotten her birthday, she would have raged, been completely inconsolable. She would never have been as quiet as she was that day. When did she change? It was probably about a month after Khloe arrived. Panic seized Liam. He looked around wildly. "Where is she?" Ethan sank onto the sofa, defeated. "She's gone." "Gone where?" Liam grabbed him by the collar. "She's dying and you just let her leave. How was I supposed to know?" Ethan threw his hands off, his eyes red with fury. "She's my sister. Do you have any idea how much pain I'm in right now?" "Liam, my sister is dying and you come here to propose to Khloe. Didn't you used to be the one who was dying to marry my sister?" "Ethan, what's wrong with you? You know, I never loved Ava." "You don't love Ava? Then why did you tell my dad in high school that you were going to marry her? Why did you get engaged the moment you graduated?" Ethan's anger boiled over, and he threw a punch, catching Liam square in the jaw. "And to think she jumped into the pool to save you when you were a kid, even though she couldn't swim. You have the nerve to talk about me." Liam wiped the blood from his lip and threw a punch back. What about when you had a high fever and wouldn't get better? Ava stayed up for nights on end taking care of you, and she almost got pneumonia because of it. After the fight, the two men stared at each other, the full, crushing weight of their mistake dawning on them. Ava was spoiled, yes, but she was good. She was kind and innocent, willing to give everything for the people she loved. It was only after Khloe came that she had started to change. Chapter 13. The room fell silent. Then Khloe, seeing the house full of gifts and Liam himself, ran excitedly down the stairs. "Liam, are you here to propose? Are you really going to marry me?" Khloe was ecstatic. Ava was dying and Liam was going to marry her. This was the happiest moment of her life. She threw herself into Liam's arms, so overjoyed that she completely forgot Ethan was still reeling from the news of Ava's cancer. For some reason, seeing Khloe now, Liam felt nothing. He pushed her away coldly. "I'm sorry, Khloe. With everything that's happened with Ava, I can't marry you right now." Before Khloe could speak, Liam had already instructed his men to take all the gifts back. As the servants began to move the presents, Khloe started to scream hysterically. "Why, just because Ava is dying, do we all have to die with her? What did you just say?" Ethan stared at her, his face deathly pale, his body trembling. "Khloe, I treated you like my own sister. My father treated you like his daughter, and now my sister is dying, and you can say something so cruel? Do you even have a heart?" Realizing her mistake, Khloe burst into tears. "I'm sorry, Ethan, I was just so scared, Liam." She grabbed Liam's hand, but he had no time for her. "Ethan, do you really have no idea where Ava went?" Ethan shook his head, running a hand through his hair in frustration. "I don't know. Her phone, have you tried calling?" Liam pulled out his phone and quickly dialed a number he knew by heart. For years, no matter what happened, one call was all it took for Ava to appear by his side. The call went straight to a busy signal, then disconnected. Liam looked at Ethan. "She blocked me." Ethan frantically pulled out his own phone and called. He got the same result. "Ava, she blocked me too." Tears welled up and streamed down his face. Ethan couldn't hold it in any longer. He broke down and cried. His beloved sister, the sister who had clung to him for years, had given up on him completely. She would never forgive him. What about messaging her? Liam opened his chat app. He realized his pinned chat was with Khloe. He had to scroll all the way down to find Ava. Opening their chat history, he saw it was almost entirely messages from her. He had rarely, if ever, replied. A wave of guilt washed over him as he typed a message. "Ava, where are you?" A glaring red exclamation mark appeared next to his message. Liam froze, his legs turning to jelly, barely able to stand. "She deleted me." Ethan tried messaging her. The same result. Khloe watched all of this unfold, a smirk flashing across her face for a split second. It was quick, but Liam saw it. In that moment, seeing her smile, Liam suddenly realized that this woman was not as innocent as he had thought. He now saw that he had been wrong about so many things, that he had wrongly blamed Ava. He pulled out his phone and called his assistant. "Find Ava Scott. Check every hospital's admission records, check all international flights. I don't care what it takes, I need to know where she is." Now, after hanging up, Khloe handed him a glass of water. "Liam, don't worry, have some water first." "I don't want it. I'm going to find Ava." He pushed her away and turned to leave. Ethan caught up with him. "I'm going with you." Watching the two men she had worked so hard to win over abandon her for Ava, Khloe gritted her teeth. "Ava Scott, you'd better die out there and never be found." Chapter 14. New Zealand was beautiful. From its vast oceans to its pristine pastures, the scenery was breathtaking. Ava remembered her mother talking about this place. She had said that when Ava grew up, she would take her here on vacation. Her mother, who grew up on the grasslands, was an incredible horseback rider. She promised to teach Ava one day, but her mother's promise was never fulfilled, and now, Ava no longer had the strength to ride a horse. She found a hospital here. After examining her, the doctor shook his head with regret. "We will do our best, Miss Scott, but you should be prepared. Going through this alone will be very difficult. It would be best to have family with you. You can call them to come." Ava shook her head. "No, that's not necessary. I don't have a family. I can do this by myself." She wasn't afraid of dying anymore. She just wanted to see her mother again. Back in the States, Ethan and Liam hadn't slept for days, tirelessly searching for any sign of Ava. Finally, Liam's assistant called. He had news. She had gone to New Zealand. Ethan froze. He remembered his mother used to tell Ava stories about taking her to New Zealand to ride horses when she grew up. After their mother died, Ava had begged him several times to take her, but he was always too busy. Then Khloe arrived, and he had forgotten all about it. His eyes reddened. Ethan immediately told his assistant to book tickets. "I'm going to find her right now." He couldn't bear to imagine his dying sister, all alone in a foreign country, suffering. "I'm going too." Mr. Scott, who had been frail since his collapse, was devastated but determined. Ethan comforted him. "Dad, don't worry. I will bring Ava back safe and sound. You should stay here." "He's right, Mr. Scott. Ethan and I will go," Liam added. Khloe, hearing this, grew anxious. "Liam, you're going too?" "Yes." Liam's tone was cold. Khloe felt wronged but didn't dare act out. "Then go quickly. What are you waiting for?" Mr. Scott urged them. Without even packing, they rushed to the airport. On the way, the hospital called. They said Khloe, believing Liam was abandoning her and wouldn't marry her, had slit her wrists and was in the emergency room. "Is she crazy?" Liam's face darkened. He couldn't believe the gentle Khloe would do something so drastic. "What's wrong with Khloe? She's never been this reckless. Ava has cancer, we're all worried sick, and she pulls a stunt like this?" They had no choice but to turn around and head for the hospital. The entire way, Ethan's face was a grim mask. He thought back over the past few months, how he had hurt Ava again and again for Khloe's sake. He could only imagine how hopeless and heartbroken she must have felt. Their father had even hid her for Khloe. She had been a princess, adored by everyone. And now, she was forced to go abroad alone to die of cancer. When they arrived at the hospital, they went straight to Khloe's room and saw her lying on the bed. Her face was pale, her wrist wrapped in bandages. Seeing Ethan and Liam, tears streamed down her face. "Ethan, Liam, I'm so sorry to make you worry." Ethan looked at her, a mix of pity and confusion. "What were you thinking? Why would you try to kill yourself?" Chapter 15. "I was just scared," Khloe said weakly. "Liam, I was afraid you were going to leave me, that you'd go away and never come back to marry me. I'm so scared of you leaving me," she sobbed, her body trembling, her tear-streaked face a picture of misery that made Liam's heart soften slightly. "Khloe, you're overthinking things." But as he looked at her, his mind was filled with images of Ava. They had known each other for decades. His connection with Khloe was only a few months old. How could it compare? "I'm so scared," she cried, clinging to him. "When I was little, my dad went into the service and died in an accident. My mom abandoned me. I've been an orphan my whole life. I'm terrified of being abandoned. Liam, I'm begging you, please don't leave me, okay?" She held onto Liam tightly, refusing to let go. Ethan glanced at his watch. Their flight was in less than 3 hours. He had to go. "Liam, maybe you should stay, marry Khloe." He couldn't waste any more time here. Every day he delayed finding Ava was another day he might not see her. Who knew how much time she had left? A flicker of joy lit up in Khloe's heart as she looked at Liam with hopeful eyes. From the moment Mr. Scott had brought her to their home, from the first time she saw Liam, she had fallen for him. Even knowing he was Ava's fiancé, she wasn't afraid. She had used every trick in the book to make him despise Ava and fall for her instead. She had worked so hard. She couldn't let Ava ruin everything now. The Scott family, Liam, Khloe, wanted it all. She was going to escape her poor past for good. "I'm sorry." Liam looked at her and said, word by word, "Until I find Ava, I can't marry you." "Why?" Khloe couldn't believe it. The man who had protected her, who had kneeled in the snow for her, who had demanded to break his engagement for her, was now refusing to marry her. "Khloe, when I find Ava, I'll come back and explain everything." Liam exchanged a look with Ethan, and without a backward glance, the two of them left the room. Watching them go, Khloe swept everything off the bedside table in a fit of rage, her eyes burning with hatred. "Ava Scott, I hate you." The plane landed, and after a long search, Liam and Ethan finally found the hospital where Ava was staying. When they arrived, Ava was lying in bed, a shadow of her former self. In just a few short days, she had wasted away, unable to eat, her hearing fading, surviving only on an IV drip. "Miss Scott, you have some visitors." The nurse came in and saw Ava's gone appearance with a pang of pity. Trying to cheer her up, she smiled. "Two very handsome men. You're about to go into surgery. How about we take you outside for some sun first?" Ava blinked. "Two handsome men?" She scoffed internally. Don't tell me it's Liam and Ethan. I don't want to see anyone. She looked terrible. She didn't want anyone to see her like this. Let go of me, I need to see my sister. A commotion erupted outside. Ava faintly heard what sounded like Ethan's voice. Ethan had always had a short temper. If things didn't go his way, he would explode. Whenever no one in the family could calm him down, they would send Ava. Ethan adored his little sister. One pout from her and his anger would melt away. The memories were vivid, yet they felt like a lifetime ago. Ava, are you in there? Ava, it's me, your brother, I've come to see you, let me see you, please. It really was Ethan. Ava's dark eyes stirred. Chapter 16. She looked towards the door and saw several figures silhouetted against the light. Ethan was being held back by a group of doctors who wouldn't let him in. Sir, I'm sorry, you really can't go in. Miss Scott doesn't want to see you. Why doesn't she want to see me? I'm her brother. Ethan's voice cracked, and he shouted into the room. Ava, I was wrong, I'm so sorry, I came to find you, you love me most, right Ava? Tears streamed down her face. Ava closed her eyes, a bitter taste in her mouth. Her beloved brother. He had long since become Khloe's brother. That's your brother. Are you sure you don't want to see him? The nurse asked gently. Suddenly, a figure climbed in through the window. Ava, a man's voice sounded next to her. Ava's body went rigid. She slowly opened her eyes and saw Liam, his face a mask of shock. He stood there, frozen, as if rooted to the spot. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The vibrant, energetic Ava he knew. How could she have become like this? She looked like a dying old woman, her body so thin it was just skin and bones, lying in bed like a fragile piece of paper. Liam opened his mouth, but no words came out. His hands trembled at his sides, his legs barely holding him up. His lips moved, but he could only manage a few words. Ava, you? Sir, how could you climb in here? Please leave, or I'll have to call security. The nurse tried to make him leave, but Liam stood his ground, refusing to move. It's fine, let them in. Ava was tired. She didn't have the energy to fight them anymore. She didn't have much time left anyway. Let them say what they wanted. The door was pushed open, and Ethan rushed in. The moment he saw Ava, his eyes turned red. He fell to his knees by her bed with a thud, grabbing her hand and crying out, Ava, how did you get so thin? Why were you so sick and you didn't tell me? I did tell you. Ava's voice was flat as she pulled her hand from his grasp. You just didn't believe me. Yes, I'm a monster, how could I not believe you? Ethan raised his hand and began slapping himself across the face, again and again. Please forgive me, okay? I'll take you home. Ethan, we have nothing to do with each other anymore. Ava refused. I don't have a brother and you don't have me as a sister. Your only sister is Khloe. Her words felt like a hand closing around Ethan's throat, choking him. Ava, I was wrong. I shouldn't have ignored you again and again for a woman who means nothing to me. I truly know I was wrong, please come back with me. Dad misses you so much too. Ava, I'm not going to marry Khloe. I won't marry her. The person I love is you. Come back with me, and I swear I will take care of you for the rest of my life. Liam also knelt by her bed, his voice choked with sobs, tears streaming down his face. In her memory, Liam had never cried. When he was a child, his father would beat him severely, leaving him covered in bruises, but he never shed a single tear. Ava looked at him. He was crying for her and saying he wouldn't marry Khloe. She let out a sarcastic laugh. So, is this pity? Chapter 17. I will not forgive you, and I will not go back with you. Ethan, from the day you started telling me to get lost, I swore that we were no longer brother and sister. Then, she turned her head to look at Liam. And you, Liam. You probably don't know this, but that phone call on the day you called off the engagement, I was the one who had the host make that call. What? Liam's heart plummeted. He had always thought it was Khloe, calling to confirm his feelings. It was Ava. I heard you with my own ears, telling the host that you still loved Khloe. And now you're telling me you want to marry me? That you love me? How ridiculous. Under her sharp questioning, Liam lost the courage to speak. His heart felt like it was being torn apart. He wanted to explain, but the nurse walked over. Miss Scott, it's time for your surgery. Surgery? Ethan panicked, refusing to let go of Ava's hand. What surgery? You're having surgery right now? Liam was terrified too. He had a terrible premonition. He felt as though he would never see Ava again. I don't want to see you again. Go home. Ava looked up at the nurse. Nurse, please, I'm ready. Ava was moved onto a gurney, and the nurses and doctors began to wheel her out. Liam and Ethan stumbled after her. As she was about to be pushed into the operating room, Ethan called out in a raw voice, "Ava, Dad found out you have cancer." He collapsed. He's in the hospital and couldn't come. You have to be okay. I promised him I would bring you back in one piece. Dad said he's so sorry he hit you. He'll never do it again. Please forgive him. Forgive me, okay? Liam called out too. Ava, just focus on the surgery. I'll be waiting for you when you get out, I swear. I will never marry anyone but you. Ava heard their words but didn't answer. She just closed her eyes and said faintly, "Nurse, please take me in." Miss Scott, as the doctor explained, this surgery is very high risk. There's a chance you may not wake up. Is there anything you want to say to your family? Ava shook her head, her eyes firmly shut. I have nothing to say. The doors to the operating room slowly closed, and the two men stared at the sealed entrance, frozen in place. During the surgery, there was a complication. Ava's vital signs became unstable. Her heart rate, blood pressure, pulse, and breathing all faltered. Soon, she lost consciousness. In the haze, she saw a bright white light. Her mother was standing in the light, beckoning to her. Ava, come here. Come to Mommy. Her mother looked as beautiful and young as ever. She missed her mother so much. Without a second thought, she walked towards her. She heard voices calling her name. Miss Scott, you have to hold on. Miss Scott, so many people who care about you are waiting for you to come home. You can't die. Ava didn't want to listen anymore. She just wanted her mom. In this world, no one loved her but her mother. Finally, she was in her mother's arms. Her mother took her hand and led her away from this world. After what felt like an eternity, the doors opened. The doctor came out, removed his mask, and shook his head. I'm sorry. We did everything we could. There was an unexpected complication during the surgery. The patient didn't make it. Chapter 18. Aargh. Ethan let out a primal scream, slamming his hands against the wall again and again in despair. Ava, you can't die. You don't have my permission to die. Liam, like a man possessed, tried to force his way into the operating room, but was stopped by the nurses. Sir, you need to calm down. You can't go in there. Let go of me. I'm going in. I don't believe she's dead. I don't believe it. Ethan was sobbing uncontrollably. Let me see my sister one last time. I'm begging you, the doctor sighed. I'm sorry. Miss Scott's final wish was that she did not want to see you again. You should go home. Ethan couldn't believe what he was hearing. She doesn't want to see me. Even in death, she doesn't want to see me. Yes, that was her wish. We must respect it. I'm her brother. Can't I even take her body back home to give her a proper funeral? I'm sorry, Dr. Evans. Where is Miss Scott's body? As they argued, a representative from an end-of-life service arrived. Miss Scott arranged her final services with us before her passing. Her funeral and cremation will be handled by our agency. As per her wishes, her ashes will be scattered on the grasslands of New Zealand. She will not be returned to the United States. That's impossible. Ethan shook his head. His hands were a bloody mess from hitting the wall, but he felt no pain. Staring at the operating room door, he sank to his knees, his entire body deflating in defeat. I don't believe it. I don't believe Ava would do this to us. She has a father, a brother. Why would she arrange for something like this? I can't speak to that, but Miss Scott was very clear. She said she had no family. The representative then took out a tablet and showed a video to Ethan and Liam. Oh, by the way, Miss Scott contacted us before she passed. She said if anyone tried to stop us from taking her body, we should show them this video. The video started, and Ava's beautiful but gaunt face appeared on the screen. Liam reached out, trying to touch her, but his fingers only met the cold glass. Ethan, Liam, by the time you see this, I'm probably already gone. Or maybe you'll never see this at all. Maybe I'll just disappear, and you'll never even look for me. In your minds, I was always the spoiled, unlikable one. Khloe was the kind, gentle, and lovable one, so you all chose her. Well, you got your wish. I'm leaving you forever. Liam, do you remember the day I found out I had cancer? I was so scared. I wanted to tell you, but then I overheard you telling my father that you didn't want to marry me, that you'd fallen in love with Khloe. So I agreed to cancel the wedding. Since you never loved me, I'll set you free. Ethan, do you have any idea how much courage it took for me to tell you I had cancer? But you just said that if I died, you wouldn't shed a single tear. I hope you really don't. And Dad, ever since Khloe came, you gave all your love to her. You believed everything she said and never believed me. She said I stole her necklace. You believed her. She said I pushed her down the stairs. You believed her. She said I deliberately abandoned her at the mall. You believed her. But I never did any of those things. I know even if I say it now, you won't believe me, but it doesn't matter anymore. Dad, I don't forgive you, and in my next life I won't be your daughter. I, Ava Scott, have no more ties to the Scott family. You will not handle my affairs. The video ended, the screen going dark. Chapter 19. The two grown men were covered in tears, sobbing uncontrollably as they stared at the dark screen. They never could have imagined how much Ava had suffered in just a few short months. Ava, now that you've seen the video, you should understand. I'll be taking Miss Scott for cremation now. The representative took Ava's body. Liam and Ethan never even got to see her one last time. After the cremation, all that was left was a box of ashes. The representative took the ashes to the largest grassland in New Zealand and scattered them across the plains. Liam and Ethan, dressed in black, stood in the distance, watching as Ava's ashes drifted away on the wind, their hearts breaking. After Ava's funeral, Ethan and Liam returned to the States. They couldn't bring Ava back. They didn't even have a single photo for a memorial. Mr. Scott was waiting for them at the airport. When he saw Ethan and Liam, he walked over shakily, looking around for Ava. "Where's Ava? Where is she? Didn't she come back with you?" Ethan lowered his head, his eyes swollen and red. "I'm sorry, Dad. Ava, What is it? What happened to Ava? She passed away." "What?" Mr. Scott's body went rigid like a statue. He couldn't believe it. His beloved daughter, his only daughter. Ava, with a heart-wrenching cry, Mr. Scott coughed up a mouthful of blood and collapsed. Ethan and Liam rushed him to the hospital. When Khloe heard that Liam was back, she immediately followed them to the hospital. She found him and relentlessly demanded he marry her, only to be rejected once again. "I'm sorry, Khloe. I'm not going to marry you." "Liam, say that again," she stared at him, her body trembling with rage. "Ava is dead, and you're telling me you won't marry me?" "That's right. The person I love is Ava. Even if she's dead, I still love her." The moment he finished speaking, Khloe pulled out a knife she had hidden behind her back and plunged it into his abdomen. Blood sprayed out, splattering across her face. The warm spray of blood seemed to bring her back to her senses. She let go of the knife and stumbled backward in horror. Why did you lie to me?" Liam never thought she would be so extreme. He grimaced, looking down at the blood pouring from his wound. A part of him thought, it would be better to just die. Then I could see Ava. "Khloe, do you have any idea what you're doing?" Ethan saw Liam was hurt and immediately called for a doctor. He was about to call the police, but Liam stopped him. "Let it go. She didn't mean it. It seems everything Ava said was true." Ethan was drowning in regret. If they hadn't brought Khloe into their home, Ava wouldn't have been hurt by them over and over again, wouldn't have been driven to such despair that she ran away to another country to die alone. If only they had known about her cancer sooner, they would have got her treatment immediately. Things never would have ended like this. Chapter 20. The knife hadn't gone too deep, and Liam's life wasn't in danger. After regaining consciousness, Mr. Scott's mental state deteriorated. His health declined rapidly. He would often say that he saw Ava, that he would be with her soon. The doctors said the shock of losing his daughter had caused a psychological break from which he was unlikely to recover. Ethan brought him home and decided to send Khloe away. As he packed her things, Khloe knelt on the floor, sobbing. "No, Ethan, Dad, please don't send me away. I'll be good. I promise I'll never lie again. I'll never blame Ava for things she didn't do. I'm not your brother, and he's not your dad. And you don't have the right to say her name." Ethan closed his eyes, his voice cold. "Send her away. I never want to see her again." As the guards dragged a struggling Khloe out, she screamed, "Ethan, you've always liked me, haven't you? If you let me stay, I'll do anything to repay you anything you want." Hearing this, a self-deprecating smile touched Ethan's lips. "Anything I want?" "Yes, anything." Desperate to stay, Khloe threw away her pride. She pushed the guards away, took off her coat, and walked up to Ethan, whispering seductively in his ear, "Ethan, I know you want me. If you want me, I'm yours right now. Just let me stay." Looking at the woman before him, Ethan felt like a fool. My God, he had been so blind, to hurt his beloved sister time and again for a woman like this. He deserved to burn. Ethan waved his hand, closing his eyes. "Khloe, I truly wish my father had never brought you here." What? Khloe froze, real panic setting in. Ethan, you're really getting rid of me? You used to dote on me, you promised my father you would always take care of me. She refused to leave, screaming in despair. Ethan just sighed. Send her away? His lips barely moved, but the words were final. Khloe looked at him and her heart finally broke. She stopped struggling. She had been wrong. She had been too greedy. When she first arrived, Ava had been kind to her. But she had coveted her brother, her father, and her fiancé, wanting to take everything Ava had. And now she had nothing. After Khloe was gone, Ethan restored the house to how it was before. He planted a new wisteria in the yard and built a new arbor with his own hands. Ava, if the wisteria blooms next year, will you come back and see it? I really, really miss you, sis. At the airport. Now boarding, flight EU 8759 to New Zealand. As Liam prepared to go through security, his mother cried, Liam, remember to come back and visit your father and me. I'll miss you. I will. Liam smiled, then walked through the gate without looking back. After landing in New Zealand, he bought the entire grassland where Ava's ashes had been scattered. He planted it with countless flowers and bought several horses. Sometimes, tourists would come to ride. When there were no visitors, he would just stare at the sky and clouds all day. On clear days, it was as if he could see Ava's shadow. She was there, on the horizon, smiling and waving at him. Ava, are you okay? I miss you so much. Ava, if time could be turned back, I would hold your hand so tightly and never let regret get in the way.